my topic is going to be very similar to a lot of people. If you notice the trend in the presentations today, it is everybody is talking that this is not a technology problem. This is a culture problem. This is a challenge that we are facing at the moment with the false promises of marketing happening with the AI. Okay. Are we there yet? Yes, we are very much advanced. We are there. We are really excited about the AI, but we lost with GPS because we refuse to follow the instructions from GPS when they say turn right. We say, no, we're going to turn left. It says follow the road. No, I'm going to go through the cliff down. It's going to be a faster path. Okay. So this becomes a very serious issue with a lot of the AI implementations. And I'm experiencing more and more insights from companies, medium to large size as well, serious challenges on the how to implement AI internally. And one of the worst things that's happening, I think, is throwing away the IT culture and technology culture that we have, and putting this randomness and believing that AI will do everything for you. Okay, so AI is not something new. All right, we had it for pattern recognition like 50, 60 years ago. We had the machine learning last 20, 30 years. Okay, this is not a new thing. For example, one of the first presentations today was on the healthcare. IBM Watson Health was many years tried to do in 2011 what AI companies are trying to do with health now. So quite a lot of people, for non-technologists, AI started with LLMs because it made it available to non-programmers and non-technology people. Okay. AI is been there for a long time as a machine learning, as a data analytics, etc., pattern recognition, as long as that. So that's a very important part. First of all, you need to understand that. Secondly, intelligence is a question mark thing. Let me tell you what happened yesterday with my wife. My wife is a organizational development consultant, and she does executive coaching. Many years in Microsoft, she's technologically very available, able, and be able to leverage the technology very well. She's writing a book, and one of the books that she wrote has a chapter called Shooting Star. She's writing this book, and yesterday she came and said the AI is refusing to help me edit this chapter called Shooting Stars. Okay, what is when you hear the word Shooting Stars written a book by organizational development and a coach, executive coach? All right, what do you understand from Shooting Stars? That's the contextual thinking. So AI completely refused to help her edit that. Well, when I hear Shooting Star, I think of this. I mean, it's like we just had a very nice meteor shower recently coming from the comet Halley, and we've seen so many shooting stars happening up in the sky. But the security checks and in the AI system taught this as shooting a movie star. Okay. After conversing with the AI a little bit and explaining to it that shooting star means, a meteor falling over the sky and we see it that way, etc., it goes, oh, I misunderstood. Okay. So this is a very typical area that contextually AI is pretty bad. Okay. One of the things that I really love recently, there's a lot of AI companies, it's called no hallucinations. Believe me, kick them out of your meeting as soon as somebody says no hallucinations. Okay? There's no such a thing as an AI system with no hallucinations. If there's no hallucinations, it means it's a useless piece of code. Okay? Because the way AI works, it's gonna create hallucinations. Less and less, and it depends on the type of data you have at the back end of it. There's a startup company I just spoke recently, and they came to me and they said, "We have no hallucinations." I'm like, "Wow, that's very impressive. How did you manage to do that?" Even internally, I said, "No way." You go, "Well, look at this data that we have." I go, "Where's this data coming from?" They go, "Oh, it's from Oracle." So it's a structured data. They go, "Yes." I'm like, getting answers from a structured data. Of course, I hope you have no hallucinations. Okay. Getting data from non-structured data, that is the challenge. Okay. We've been doing reports for many years with no hallucinations. When you do an Excel data spreadsheet, you expect no hallucinations because the data is very clear. Okay. So you need to be very, very careful on what you are doing and where is this no hallucinations concept comes in, and what is the context of understanding the AI system. Okay. You're going to hear again and again on this AI summit, and every AI summit you go from now on, that everybody is going to warn you saying, be careful. Okay. AI is not the intelligence you're looking for. Every day is getting better. Don't get me wrong, but it's never going to be completely taking over what humans create. So I have some examples. Okay. What do you need to watch out for AI systems? I'm going to make it very simple. Amujad was explaining in the previous presentation, very detailed about it. Okay. Number one, bad data. Okay. Amazon creates a hiring AI system that reads the resumes in advance and evaluates based on the decisions that was made before. And this is 2013, 2014 timeframe. Okay. It turned out that majority of the CVs were male. Okay. And the information and the success was very badly, and they had to pull it out because it was very biased and it was very wrong. And the worst thing about AI is not a query system that you can go, okay, this was the wrong query, let's redo it. So when an AI system is being taught with bad data, you have to throw it away. You have to build a from scratch new AI environment to be able to, with the good data, to be able to correct those problems. Okay. Governance is the most important part of it. Data, who's putting it, where are you using the AI? What kind of a problem you're looking for? And unrealistic expectations of return on investment. Okay. A lot of companies are challenged at the moment. They are making a lot of investments on AI, and they're not seeing the expected results. I was part of Microsoft call center system where they wanted to, any given time, there's approximately 10,000 Microsoft persons on the phone answering customer queries. Okay. Their idea was, hopefully we can get rid of all of them because the AI, generative AI with the voice recognition, etc., will do everything right. Well, it doesn't work that way. Okay. What happened is we have 10,000 people on the call are much more productive, better service, better customer satisfaction than before. But that doesn't mean that you want to get rid of that 10,000 people. This is something that you have to really think, what is your return on investment that's happening? Because a couple of things. Customers do not want to talk to AI. AI is pretty bad, hallucinating, creating wrong expectations, and really solving the wrong problems. So you have to be very, very careful. Don't get me wrong. I love AI and I use it every day. And I am very excited about the AI system. So recently I posted something on the LinkedIn when Microsoft is announcing early retirement for its people. I said, this is like power tool companies are getting rid of the carpenters or getting rid of the tool makers. Okay. Power tools to a carpenter is like similar to artificial intelligence to a technologist. Power tools make good carpenters faster, make amazing stuff, and bad ones more dangerous. And a lot of the people who are not a carpenter wanted to do carpentry, really created monstrous stuff. Okay. This is a very typical thing that you see in there. So you have to be very careful. This is just an analogy about power tools versus artificial intelligence, but it makes really good sense. When you move to power tools, you have to make sure that you are not getting rid of the processes and needs of it. Measure before you cut. You measure twice because you can cut very fast with circular saw, but how much bad cuts you're gonna do. Okay. Similar in AI, verify before production. You have to verify before production, human reviews, test approve behavior, edge cases. One of the things that I love to give you a little bit of a example, I don't know if you've seen, Waymos are amazing, driverless taxi cars that's going around in a lot of cities. They just start testing it in Seattle, where I am from. I use them in San Francisco and Los Angeles. They are going around very successfully till there was a small accident. Police put some flares on the road, and 3 Waymos just stuck there. Can't move because they don't want to go over the flares, which normally a car could go. Okay. And they completely blocked the whole intersection for several hours because they wouldn't move. They're expecting things to move around, etc. So when you are doing stuff, you have to really check, measure twice before you cut it, verify before production. Okay. So this becomes a very good rule of thumb that you're going to use. Right. When you're using power tools, okay, use the right tool for the right stuff. Don't use chainsaw for fine carpentry. Okay. People don't build nice stuff with chainsaws. AI, low risk tasks, boilerplate, scaffolding, creating websites, creating images. All right. When there's a critical path, especially a very specific to your business, a specific to your value add to customers, you need to do a manual design and explicit review. Still use AI to cross-check it, but don't let AI to build something like that. It's quite interesting. I do work very closely with startups. One of the startups, and they are not they're just a tech, like a service startup, and they go, "Oh, We are so happy that we could leverage AI to build the system without any developers. I'm like, okay, so what's your background? One of them says it's real estate. The other one, he goes, I learned very quickly to, code the systems with AI, and create the site and create the whole workflow with AI only. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. It's really, you need to respect the expertise that an IT person brings into a system like that. No, 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 it works really well. It took me 5 minutes to break the system because they knew nothing about it. It looked like it worked till you turn and throw a curveball. Okay, I didn't even do anything serious about the security, etc. It was just like two things I did, took through a couple of extreme cases, and the whole system collapsed. Okay, this is a typical delusion that people think that they can throw away their systems. The other thing with the power tools, wear safety gear. Yes, you could be doing AI generated code, but you need to be able to create guardrails. Okay, so there's a lot of systems out there who created with AI, and there were secret leakage. One of them was interesting, and it was one of the silicon companies who are building a chip. They wanted to do a control check with AI, ChatGPT, on the code that exists on the silicon itself, and it leaked out. And it actually allowed other people to be able to submit vulnerable code into their systems. There's also legal risks. There's a lot of areas that is happening. Okay. Obviously, financial risks that goes with it. So you need to be able to have AI with guardrails. You need to be able to create guardrails. Okay. Just because AI sounds and promises to be very intelligent and careful, trust me, it's not. Okay. A couple of years ago, I did this presentation in the summit. A very quick check. If you go any of your AI systems and ask for a collage of watches that shows noon, okay? Simple instruction. If you have AI now in front of you, ask it, okay? You're gonna see a bunch of watches that shows 10 past 10 instead of noon. And AI is very convinced that these are the watches that shows noon, okay? Because what's available out there for watches is the commercial pictures. And commercial pictures of watches is always 10 past 10 because visually that's the best looking one, okay? If you go a couple of years ago onto my presentation, you're going to see that. And the important thing is there, can you make AI to fix that problem? Yeah, no problem. I can do it in a very short period of time. The example is trying to show you that you don't know what AI doesn't know or where is that data is coming from. Okay. So you have to cross check and make sure that everything is put in place. So be careful. Data problem. That's the number one big issue. There's a law firm in California that went bankrupt because their AI system created a made up stories about cases and leveraged that in front of a judge. And judge is like push back and put that company all together because the data was not correct. Reality gap. Okay. It's an amazing tool. It's a great tool. It makes you faster. It makes you go do things much faster, much better than everything else. But That doesn't mean that you throw away your processes, your thinking, your areas. Okay. Guardrails. If there's no guardrails, you're in big trouble. You have to put guardrails in there. Misaligned incentives. Okay. Don't assume that the data and etc. that the users are putting are correct. And least but not last thing, ignoring human workflow. Will people actually going to use this thing? Okay. And you really need people to cross-check the results and what's happening out there. Is a big hype that AI is going to replace all the roles? That's not the correct approach. We are going to find it in a very short period of time.